The sun was beginning to fall behind the hills of Ntar, painting the sky in soft orange hues that wrapped the village in calm. ODEY sat quietly in front of his mud-thatched hut, perched alone on the hillside, where the village path curved like a snake below. His home stood at the edge of the forest, where the wind spoke in whispers, and the fire always burned clean. He crouched beside a low fire pit, turning a freshly haunted grass cutter slowly over the flames. A clay pot of water sat nearby, bubbling softly. A wooden basin rested beside his feet, half filled with clean herbs and palm leaves. His muscles glistened in the dying light, shirtless as always, his neck and arms wrapped in sacred hunter's beads. The short tattered ankara wrapper clung to his waist, ruffled by the breeze. His headband, tightly tied, held back his braided hair, its beads at the tips catching the firelight like charms. The flashlight tied around his head was absent, only worn during hunts. He lifted a piece of roasted meat and brought it close to his lips when he suddenly paused. He felt it. That deep, animal instinct, rooted somewhere between his spine and spirit. Something was off. His eyes shifted. Slowly, like a hunter sensing a stalker in the wild. He didn't speak. Didn't move too fast. Just lowered the meat, stood to his full height, and turned behind his hut. And there she was. A young girl, tall and striking, her skin glowing like sunlit honey, standing quietly behind the hut, half hidden by a cluster of tall bamboo stalks. Her afro, full and dark, framed her face like a crown, and her eyes, big, almond-shaped, and beautiful, stared back at him, unblinking. She wore a colorful, modern ankara wrapper, tied neatly across her chest and hips. Her neck shimmered with a three-layered bead necklace, her arms and ankles adorned with two-layered coral beads, and around her waist, 3 delicate steps of waist beads rested softly. She didn't move. He didn't speak. Time slowed for a moment. Then, almost shyly, ODEY gestured with his hand. "You fit come sit." She hesitated, then walked forward gently, her bare feet silent on the dry grass. He gave her a small carved wooden stool near the fire. They both sat, close, but not too close, the fire flickering between them, casting shadows on their faces. He handed her a piece of roasted meat. She took it, with a smile so soft it nearly melted the hunter. Neither said a word for a while, but their eyes spoke in silence. The kind of silence that binds spirits long before words ever find them. Just as she leaned slightly closer to speak. Voices. Footsteps. Laughter. 2 villagers were walking along the dusty path below the hill, carrying baskets and talking loudly. The girl immediately turned her head, alert. Then she suddenly stood and ran to the back of the hut. ODEY blinked. He stood up, surprised, eyes scanning as she disappeared from sight. He placed his hands on his waist, confused but somehow amused. Who be this girl? The fire cracked beside him, still roasting, but the heat now matched what he felt rising in his chest. There was something about her. And he was determined to know what it was.